Let's look at number 7 first. 180 degrees, what quadrant is that in? Yeah, it's not in 1, right? It's in between quadrants. The easiest way to do these when it's on an axis is actually draw out a coordinate plane. And what 2 quadrants is 180 between? So it's right here, correct? So draw a dot where 180 degrees is, 180 degrees is. Now, I want you to tell me what this coordinate point would be if you had to guess. Tell me what you would guess this coordinate point is. Good, except it's -1, 0, so close. So anytime we have an axis and we draw a point, we're always going to use 1 away from the origin, because the unit circle is always 1 away, and y'all will see that next week. So if I drew a point right here, that coordinate point would be what? And this one? And this one? Good. Okay. And we talked about yesterday when we were finding all the trig functions. Remember, if they give you a coordinate point, what is our x always going to be? Adjacent. Very good. Our y is always what? Remember, the easiest way I told y'all to remember that is what comes first in the alphabet. So that comes first in the coordinate point. So we have adjacent and opposite. Well, for cotangent, what do we need? What is cotangent? Adjacent over opposite, right? And don't we have adjacent and opposite? What is our adjacent? What's our opposite? So what is cotangent of 180? Very good. No hand trick needed. Y'all understand this one? Any questions so far? Alright, let's look at number 12. Secant of negative pi. What is negative pi? That's a negative angle, so what do we need to do first? Good, that's going to give us, what is it? Very good. Alright, so let's draw our coordinate plane. 180 is between what 2 quads? Good, so what's that coordinate point again? Good. What is -1? What is 0? Alright, what do we need for this? Good, because secant is what? Very good, because it's the opposite of what trig function? Good. Alright, so we have adjacent and opposite. We need hypotenuse. How do we find it? Pythagorean theorem. So it would be what? Good. 1 squared plus 0 squared equals c squared. So c is going to be what? Very good. So now just fill it in. What goes on top? What goes on bottom? Good. So secant of negative pi. Very good. Shortcut. Think about all the points we just talked about. It has 0 and 1 involved, right? Sometimes they're negative, but when we do the Pythagorean theorem, our h is always going to be what? Always, right? So when we're finding a cosine or sine or secant or cosecant of the axes, you don't even have to find your hypotenuse. It's always just going to be x or y, because these over 1 will just be themselves. Does that make sense? Okay. Let's do we need to do another one together, or y'all got this? Then do numbers 15 and 16 on your own. Let me know if you need some help. Bless you. Anybody want to share their answer for number 15? I heard 0. I heard undefined. Any other ones? Alright, let's draw it out. Where this is pi over 2, which is what? Okay, where is 90 between? Good. Right here. What's this coordinate point? Good. 0 is my what? This is my, what is tan? Very good. So it's 1 over, which is, very good. Questions on that one? What did y'all give for 16? I heard 0, I heard 1. Let's talk about this one. What is negative 90 the same as? 270. How'd you get that? Got to add 360 if it's negative. 270 is between what two quads? Which makes this coordinate point? Very good. And this is adjacent and opposite. I don't even need to find my hypotenuse. So my adjacent is 0, and that's what cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So it'd be 0 over 1, which is 0. Questions? Everybody's good with the axes ones. Y'all find them easier than the hand trick? Most people do. Alright, what we're going to do, we have 4 problems left, 8, 11, 13, and 14. We're going to work 2 together, then 2 on your own. So is there any specific one y'all want to do together out of 8, 11, 13, and 14? 8 and 11. Okay. So first step, I want you to tell me what 7 pi over 4 is as a degree. Everybody agree? 315? Okay. Evan, what quadrant is this in? Good. So, Bryant, is secant going to be positive or negative in quad 4?
Positive.
Everybody agree? Very good. All right, Toby, how do I find the reference angle in quad 4? Very good. Would you give me what? All right. We are finding blank of 45. What are we finding? Cosine of 45. Using the hand trick. So, Caleb, what finger is 45? Alright, so Abigail, Lund, what is cosine of 45? Good. Everybody see how we got that? Cosine is what side? Pinky, and you always take the square root of however many fingers you have, and it's always going to be over 2. So square root of 2 over 2. Are we done? We have to do what? Flip it. So we got 2 over root 2. Can we leave it like this? We have to multiply by root 2, so we'll get 2 root 2 over, which is positive or negative? Very good. Questions on that one? Y'all want me to tell you a pattern? There's a ton of patterns on the unit circle, and once y'all memorize it next week, y'all will have these down pat. But anytime the degree ends in a 5, like 315 or 225 or 135, anytime it ends in a 5, there's a pattern with the values. And here's the pattern. You can put this up here. Degree ends in 5. If it ends in 5, your sine and cosine value is going to be the same. Do y'all know what it's going to be? Think about ends in 5 like 45. Your sine and cosine are the same thing. They're going to be what? What is it? Root 2 over what? Every single time. It ends in 5. Cosine and sine are going to be the same. It's going to be root 2 over 2. Now think about tangent. If it ends in 5, it's going to be sine over cosine. Square root of 2 over square root of 2 is always going to be... Am I losing y'all? Y'all good? Do I need to say that again? Mm-hmm. Okay. So tangent is the square root of your sine fingers over the square root of these fingers, if you remember. Sine over cosine. So square root of 2 over square root of 2 is going to be what? So anytime the degree ends in 5, tangent will always be 1. And then for the opposite of these two, if these are the same, their opposite functions have to be the same, right? So cosecant and secant are always going to equal what? What did we just get for our answer? Square root of 2. Very good. So anytime the degree ends in 5, 135, 225, 315, 45, it's always going to be these values. And there's a lot more patterns, but I'll just start you off with that one. Alright, this next one, number 11, negative 330. What's the first thing we have to do here? Alright, so when we do that, we'll get what? Very good. So this is in quad what? Is it positive or negative then? Good, everything's positive in quad 1. We're going to find what of 30 degrees? Sine of 30 degrees. Which is what finger? Pointer. And which side is sine? Thumb, so it's square root of over, which is 1/2. So our answer is 2. Any questions on that one? Go ahead and do 13 and 14 on your own. Let me know if you need some help. This part is, so 30 degrees with sine, go ahead and do the hinges. Which side is sine? Yes. And you can remember because cosine starts with a C letter. C comes first in the alphabet. So in the first one again. Good. Anybody want to share the answer for 13? What'd y'all get? 1/2 is correct. What about number 14? What'd y'all get? Negative square root of 3 over 3? Or positive? Positive, good. Which one do I need to go over? Any of them? Y'all are good? Alright. Negative 4 pi over 3, that's the same thing as what degree? Negative 240? Okay, so we have to do what to it first? Add 360, that'll give us 120, which is in quad. What's positive in quad 2? Sine and cosecant. Because remember, all students take calculus. So in quad 2, only sine and cosecant are positive. Cotangent goes with what? Tangent. So it'd be negative. I'm sorry. Good job. Any other questions? All right, so all you're doing the rest of class is working on your homework from yesterday that I passed out. So your homework last night was 1 through 6. Tonight it's the rest of the page. So you can go ahead and work on that. I'm ready to work on the bottom part first since it's fresh on your mind. Let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to work together. Do y'all want me to play music or no? Yes.